In today's episode, Lollie gets a hatch, and you get my voiceover here because I have 24 minutes of video recording and not all of it has audio, and the parts that do have audio have a lot of traffic noise, a lot of wind, and the sound of the diesel heater, because as you can see from our outerwear, it's a little bit chilly out. In any event, what we're doing right now is talking about where to cut this cross member that is at the back of the ProMaster. It has these cross members that run across the ceiling, and we need to cut through that without actually cutting into the skin of the roof or the ceiling, I guess, because we want the hole to be smaller, but where the cuts in the cross member are have to be larger to accommodate the frame for the hatch. So what I'm doing here is putting in a steel plate and just taping it in place above the cross member so that when Norm cuts through using a reciprocating saw, he doesn't cut into the skin of the van. And then I'll just mark using a piece of tape where I want him to cut. And I'm the official tool hander and plugger inner. So while he's doing that, I go off camera, plug my ears, because this thing is loud inside an uninsulated van, even with the sound deadening. So this is his first attempt, and if I remember correctly, it all goes well. But it is always a little nerve-wracking to cut through metal into a perfectly good vehicle. We realized that when we installed the Max fan. And so now he's using this oscillating saw just to get the last little bit on each side of that cross member. Just the very last pieces that almost touch the ceiling. Takes him a couple of minutes here. Just about good. Probably from this angle you can see it a little bit, but there's also some spongy adhesive between the ceiling and the cross member, which gave us a bit of grief after we finally got the cuts done, because we ended up taking a flat pry bar and a hammer and mechanically banging the pry bar into the adhesive to physically release it from the ceiling, and we had to do that on both sides for each glob of adhesive that there was. Oh yeah, there he goes, handsome guy. Back to the reciprocating saw for this side. We've got the plate taped up. I'm just doing cord management there. We have different work styles, and mine is to have everything out of the way. I can't stand when cords are in the way, so he just lets me do my thing. He's a patient guy. I also feel like in a small workspace, the last thing you want is to have stuff to trip over. So I just try and be as helpful as I can when it comes to things that I'm not doing. And here he's back with the oscillating saw. And through that first side, and then he'll do the other side. And then I come through with the sticky side of the tape and pick up any metal shards. They sort of adhere just with static. None of them really went flying off, but I take the tape and I go through the holes, make sure that he's cut all the way through, and get off any metal shaving bits. And that's it for this clip. See you in a minute. And now a magically quick trip to the roof of the van. We've already marked the location for the hole, and we've built a cardboard template. It's the same size as the flange of the hatch, and I'm just marking where we're going to cut, and we'll use a jigsaw for this. No real magic here, just being really careful, measuring outside, measuring inside, using tape. It was a bit With the pilot holes drilled, we move on to cutting a hole right through the skin of the roof, and for that we used a jigsaw. And what you're seeing here is this very speedy version. I've just sped up the video so you get the idea, but it takes about 10 minutes to go all the way around. And here we are out of video, but I do have some stills for you. You'll see in the little divots on the roof of the van we've put these plexiglass pieces that Norm has cut. We've installed them with butyl tape. I should say Norm's installed them, and those are meant to, together with the butyl tape, to add waterproofing and spacing for when we put the hatch on top of the roof and slide the flange inside. A couple of quick close-ups of the frame that Norm built, and here it is with the plexiglass on just for size. Those are the same pieces that you saw in the previous stills already installed on the roof. And another close-up. He did some great work with this. He always does great work, that guy. And then finished product, you'll see the solar panels are on there, but that's a video for another day, maybe with another program. I've got a couple I want to try out. This one was video pad. Worked okay. And here you can see the butyl tape coming out, which is what you want. We will do some lap sealant over that when the weather improves a bit, but I feel pretty confident that it'll be nice and dry until we can get to it. Thanks for watching, everyone.